All right, so let's start with Michigan State, Nebraska tomorrow night. The weather in East Lansing, it's going to be seasonably warm kickoff, 76 degrees, and it'll cool off after that. Nebraska's program, to me, is interesting. It's a program that used to steamroll people, dating back to its Big 8 days, and then Big 12 days. It started to get a little bit tougher for them. And boy, have they struggled in the Big Ten, and specifically under Scott Frost, who has nothing better than a fifth-place finish in the Big Ten West. It doesn't have a winning record in any season at Nebraska. I believe this is his fourth season there. And
he's the prodigal son.
And this is the Big Ten West we're talking about here. Now, the Big Ten West can be like sneaky good. Wisconsin is always formidable. Iowa, now Minnesota. Looks like they could be. I mean, Texas A&M struggled to beat Colorado, and Minnesota just steamrolled them. So Minnesota,
Northwestern creeps up every once in a while.
Northwestern is like a cyclical every third year. They're really good,
yeah.
And now they've clearly taken a step back, and they've started the cycle all over again.
Iowa's good,
but Nebraska, I'm not sure. It was always kind of amazing, right, that this program in the middle of nowhere was dominant. And under the old rules, when you had 225 scholarship players and all that, it was a little bit easier. What do they wow people with? And I'm looking forward to a trip back to Lincoln. One time I was at Lincoln, I actually had a good time. I'm looking forward to going back to Lincoln in a few weeks to really get into the campus and look around and see if I'm a college-age kid, is this a place I really want to go? Because they've really struggled. And it would make sense that a program in the middle of nowhere would have problems, getting top athletes from all around the country. But I find them a fascinating watch. And look, I mean, people want to point the finger and say, oh, well, Michigan doesn't win like they used to. No, they don't. But it's not as bad as it is in Nebraska. And in the back of my mind, I've gotten to the point where I'm like, kind of want him to be good again. I never was a Nebraska fan. I found him to be irritating, but I kind of now want him to be good again.
Well, they can be good all they want on Sunday.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. I'm just talking bigger picture here.
Yeah, I understand that. But what they do present for Michigan State, the challenge they bring is the quarterback, Adrian Martinez, because he has been accurate this year. He's been efficient. He's a legitimate dual threat. He leads his team in rushing, over 5 yards a carry. He's got over 200 yards rushing. He's a legit guy to stop. Now, fortunately for Michigan State, they faced something similar in that last week at Miami with Derek King, who was a dual threat guy. And definitely people think higher of Derek King than they would Adrian Martinez. But I'm not sleeping on Martinez and what he can do, and also what Nebraska has started to build towards a little bit this season. They got out of the gate real slow, lost to Illinois. Illinois is terrible. But then they got a little bit of their mojo back, albeit against bad competition, winning the next couple games. But then they play Oklahoma and they lose. But that's like the biggest moral victory we've seen this year from a team.
They're basking in the glory of it.
Yeah, I mean, they lost by a touchdown to a team that was favored by 24 points at kickoff, and they held Oklahoma in check and played in that game the entire game. Now, they didn't win, but they can hang their hat on the effort. And if you're Scott Frost, you have to build off that. You can't tear them down and get pissed. But what you can say is, look, we just tangled with one of the top 5 teams in the country, and we had a chance. Let's keep that attitude up and keep going, and they're going to have to try to do that. Now, to beat Michigan State, Nebraska is going to have to show what they can do on defense, and that is stop the run first and foremost, which is a tough task against Michigan State in that running game. Oklahoma ran for 194 yards against Nebraska, and Michigan State brings in arguably the best running back in the country, leading the nation in rushing yards and yards per carry. Walker's outstanding, and it's not just Walker. They can go Simmons, and if Collins is healthy, he can help out, and they've got a freshman that can help out as well. And the thing it's interesting about Michigan State, it's not just the running attack. Peyton Thorne has been incredibly efficient. He's like the Big Ten's leading passer in rating and all that, and he's got 9 touchdowns and no picks. And they've got this balanced attack offensively that's been fun to watch. Now, Michigan State, the competition they played to this point, first couple games, nothing special, but the win against Miami was kind of eye-opening because the way that they pulled away at the end. This wasn't a nail-biter where they won at the end on a great drive. They pulled away and put the stake in the heart of the Hurricanes. Can they do that against Nebraska? They can, but it's not going to be – I don't think it's going to be as easy as maybe a lot of Spartan fans think it will be because they think, oh, they're not very good. Nebraska's improving each week, and I think Michigan State has also improved each week, but we'll see. I like their chances.
The thing that's held Adrian Martinez back is he's got a fumbling problem. He has his entire career, and, I mean, you can pressure him, you hit him hard, he puts the ball on the carpet, and that's what's led to frustration from Nebraska fans is his propensity to turn it over. I will be interested to see if Nebraska tries to do to Michigan State what they did to Oklahoma, which is 2 deep safeties, soft zone, everybody back. And Spencer Rattler seemed, in what I saw that game, seemed reluctant to take the check down and was forcing the ball deep. This could be a big game for Michigan State's backs out of the backfield, for Connor Hayward to get the ball in, the shallow flat, and if Peyton Thorne just take the check down when it's there. Because what Nebraska did, I would imagine they try and duplicate it for the rest of the year and say, look, it kept us in the game against Oklahoma. So I would suspect that there'll be a lot of those opportunities for Michigan State.
Well, and Michigan State is a team that doesn't mind using the tight end. It doesn't mind throwing the ball to the running back on the backfield. Doesn't mind doing jet sweeps to their wide receivers. They get everybody involved with that offense. But they also have certainly big playability in going to the wide receivers. That the tandem of Reed and Naylor is outstanding thus far. They want to play the soft zone. I think that's advantage Michigan State because they'll just eat you alive with the running game and go 5 yards every time they touch the football.